I knew something was wrong the second I heard my wife laugh. A soft, breathy laugh I hadn't heard in months, coming from behind our closed bedroom door at 11 at night. It wasn't the sound itself that shattered me, it was the tone. Light, flirty, alive in a way she never sounded with me anymore. I stood in the hallway frozen, holding a mug of tea I'd made for her, steam rising into my face like the ghost of a warmth that used to exist between us. Then I heard her whisper, "Stop, you're too much," followed by a silence thick enough to strangle me. I didn't open the door. I couldn't. I just turned around, set the mug on the floor, and walked out of the house into the cold night air, pretending I needed some fresh air, pretending I didn't already know the truth clawing at my chest. For weeks I had felt her slipping away. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just little things, a longer shower here, a delayed reply there, a smile that didn't reach her eyes, a hand that no longer reached for mine. First I blamed work stress. Then I blamed myself. Then I started blaming time, believing that maybe all marriages eventually lost their spark. I never once thought she'd simply give that spark to someone else. I remember sitting in my car that night, staring at the windshield as if it might offer answers. My phone buzzed. A message from her. "Where are you?" No heart emoji. No worry. Just obligation. And yet I drove home because that's what a husband does. He goes back even when a part of him knows he shouldn't. She was sitting on the couch when I walked in, scrolling her phone like nothing had happened. I studied her face, trying to read something. Guilt? Fear, maybe even relief. But she looked at me with the same guarded expression she'd been giving me for weeks. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded, lying through my teeth. I didn't ask who she'd been talking to. I didn't ask why she was laughing like she hadn't laughed with me in so long. I just went to bed and stared at the ceiling while she lay next to me on her side, facing away, her phone lighting up her face with a glow as intimate as a lover's touch. The truth came 2 days later, not through confrontation or confession, but by pure accident. I was looking for her car keys in her purse because she'd misplaced them again, and instead I found her phone buzzing with a message preview. "Last night was incredible. When can I see you again?" My hands went cold. I tapped the message. It opened to a thread filled with photos, voice notes, and messages that painted an entire world I had no idea existed. A world where she wasn't distant or tired or numb. She was alive, laughing, playful, passionate, with someone who wasn't me. My heart didn't break in one clean snap. It crumbled slowly, painfully, piece by jagged piece, as I scrolled through the moments she chose to give away. When she walked into the room and saw me holding her phone, her face drained of color. "Give it back," she said softly. Not "I can explain." Not "it's not what you think." No. Just the plea of someone whose secret had finally been dragged into the light. "How long?" I asked, my voice raw and barely audible. She closed her eyes like the question itself hurt. "A few months," she whispered. "Few months. While we still shared breakfast. While she kissed me goodnight. While she said I love you without blinking." Something inside me twisted. "Why?" I asked. It was the only question that mattered. She sank onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. "I don't know," she said. But she knew. And I knew she knew. I don't know what snapped in her, or maybe she'd been holding it in for so long that it finally exploded. But she suddenly stood, eyes blazing with something between anger and desperation, and yelled, "Because he makes me feel alive, okay? He makes me feel something again." Her voice cracked on the last word, and that hurt me more than the yelling. It wasn't just cheating. It wasn't just betrayal. It was emptiness. And she was filling it with someone who wasn't me. I expected myself to scream back, to demand answers, to break something, anything. But I didn't. I stayed calm. Too calm. My silence seemed to unsettle her more than if I had exploded. She kept pacing, running her hands through her hair, muttering, "I didn't mean for this to happen. I don't even know who I am anymore." I watched her fall apart in front of me, and for a moment, despite everything, I felt compassion. This was the woman I loved. The woman I built a life with. The woman I thought I knew better than anyone. And yet she had a whole other life I never saw. "Do you love him?" I finally asked. She froze. Then she shook her head slowly, tears finally spilling. "I don't think so," she said. I don't feel like myself with you anymore." That sentence landed like a blade between my ribs. I wasn't abusive. I wasn't neglectful. I wasn't unkind. But love doesn't always need a villain to fall apart. Sometimes it just fades, or breaks under the quiet weight of unmet needs and unspoken fears. I packed a bag that night. Not because I wanted to leave her, but because staying felt like slow death. She didn't try to stop me. She just sat on the edge of the bed, shoulders trembling, staring at her hands like they belonged to someone who had ruined more than she intended. I went to my brother's place, sat on his couch, and for the first time in years, I cried without holding anything back. I grieved the marriage I thought I had, the woman I thought she was, the version of myself that believed love could survive anything if you just tried hard enough. In the weeks that followed, she sent long messages, apologies, confessions, reflections. I didn't block her. I read every word. She wasn't a monster. She was human. Flawed. Lost. Shattered in ways I never saw because I assumed loving her was enough. But sometimes love can't fix what someone refuses to reveal. We're separated now, talking only when necessary. There's no screaming, no begging, no dramatic endings. Just two people standing among the ruins of what could have been, quietly acknowledging the wreckage. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Sometimes the hardest heartbreaks aren't caused by hatred or cruelty, but by the simple, devastating truth that the person you loved became someone you no longer recognized.